Okay, so as you can see, we have our system today, which is going to be on substitution. It's our day 2 of this, which is good because it will give you guys a little bit of an idea as to how to do more difficult questions. And then I have a couple quizzes, scavenger hunt, and then you guys have a Quizlet. And so this is kind of the breakdown of what we're going to be doing today. This is your notes in class, so take a look at how many examples we're going to go over. Each question has 5 steps. Your additional practice homework is right here. And we have a video guidance as well. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started with example 1. Okay, so with that said, let's go ahead and get started with the first question. Here's your first example, and it's through substitution. Your first step on this is going to be step 1, solve for x or y. Well, given the fact that y is already solved and it's right here, we're going to take that and put it in place of y. So you have x plus whatever y is equals 6. And you guys also know that the y is going to be 2x, so we put 2x right there. Step 2 asks you to go ahead and plug it in, which we did, so check that baby off. Step 3, we're going to go ahead and algebraically solve for this. There's a 1 right there, so 1 plus 2 is a 3x equals 6. Opposite of a time is a divide, so x equals 3. So now that I have x, what are you missing? You're missing y. So we're going to find y. So now you have the task of figuring out which equation do you want to use for y. It doesn't really matter if you have the first equation and the second equation. I'm just going to use the second equation because it's second equation. I don't know. You put the 3 here. 3 plus y equals 6. So what does y equal to? Y is going to equal to, oh, you know what? I'm so sorry. I'm in a boo-boo here. Divided by 3. Hello, Callahan. So that's going to be 2. Sorry. So x is 2. I'm looking at this going like, wait a second, what's going on? And so 6 minus 4, 2, not 4, geez, is going to be 4. So that is your answer, 2, 4. Let's try another question that's a little bit more difficult. Example 2. Okay, looking at example 2, your first step is to solve for x or y. Well, your x is equal to 3y, so step 2 says plug it in for y. So I'm going to have 2 times whatever y is minus 4x equals 5. Well, I'm going to plug it in, so 3y is right there. Next step is to go ahead and algebraically multiply it out. So 2 times 3 is 6, minus 4. And you know what? I made a mistake. What was the mistake that I made? I shouldn't put that over here for y. I should really put that one for x. Why? Because it says x equals 3y. So it's a good thing that we're finding these mistakes now. 2y minus 4 times 3y equals 5. 4 times 3 is a 12. Combine your like terms, you get a negative 10. And then you're going to divide it by negative 10 on both sides. So y equals a negative 5 over 10. Going back to elementary school, you can go ahead and reduce that, which is going to give you a negative 1 over 2. That is your y. Now that you have y, you need to find x, because that's your other counterpart. So your next step is to go ahead and find the other missing pair. So I need to find x. On this one, I'm just going to use the first equation, which is going to be x equals 3y. Well, I know y is 1/2, so x is going to be 3 times negative 1/2, which is equal to negative 3 over 2, or negative 1.5. Or another way of writing that is negative 1/2. And that is why this is my equation. X comes first, followed by y. All right, let's go on to example 3. With example 3, with this one's a little bit challenging because step 1 says solve for x or y. And if you look at this, none of them are solved. So which one looks easier to solve? First equation or second equation? I would say first equation because to get x by itself, I just need to move the 2y over to the right side. So I have x equals negative 2y plus 5. Then my next step is to go ahead and plug this in. So I'm going to take x equals negative 2y, plug it in right over here. So I have 2 times blank plus 3y equals 7. And that blank is going to be a negative 2y plus 5. Now, my step 3 says algebraically, I have to go ahead and solve for this. So I would have to distribute it. So a negative 4y plus 10 plus 3y equals 7. Combine my like terms, subtract the 10, 7 minus 10, and then divide it by negative 1. Ta-da! There I have my y. But once I get my y, I have to find my other counterpart, which is x. So then in order for me to find x, I need to go ahead and plug the y into either the first or second equation and solve for x. Well, since I picked the second equation last time, let's pick the first equation this time. So with this one, I have 2y, so replace the y with 3, plus x equals 5, 6 plus x equals 5, 5 minus 6 is a negative 1. And there's your answer. Let's take a look at example 4. I want you guys to pause the video and give it a try on your own. The answer is also provided for you. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. You're going to take the x minus 1 and plug it right there for y. So x plus 3 times blank equals 12. And what goes in there? Well, it's x minus 1. Second step is to go ahead and plug it in, which we did. And then algebraically, we're going to go ahead and solve for x. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply the 3 for the distributive property. Combine like terms. Add a 3 on both sides. And then divide it by 4. 15 over 4 is going to be your answer for x, but you can also write this in a proper fraction. So you can go ahead and put 4 in the front, or 3 in the front, 4 in the denominator, and 3 on top. And that is your answer for x. Now that you have x, you have to find y. In order for you to find y, you will have to plug into either the first or second equation. Well, let's go ahead and plug into the second equation since y is already solved. Y equals x minus 1. Well, x is just 15 over 4 minus 1. Going back to elementary school math, it's a 1 over 1, but I need to have a common denominator. So 15 minus 4 is 11 over 4, or 2 and 3/4. And ta-da, there is your answer. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on to the next part. So the next example we have is going to be example number 5. All right, so we're still on substitution or replacing. So with this example right here, notice that none of the x's or y's are solved, so you will have to solve for them. And you ask yourself, would it be easier for me to solve for x or is it easier to solve for y? I would say it would be easier to solve for this x, which means you have to move that 6y over to the left. So x equals negative 6y plus 1. That's your first step. Then you're going to go ahead and plug this in. So I'm going to take this and plug it right here, not for y, but for x. So I have 3 times, parenthesis, minus 10y equals 31. You're going to replace the x with a negative 6y plus 1. And of course, you will have to distribute that. So that's a negative 18y plus 3 minus 10y equals 31. Combine your like terms. The pen is kind of not working. Equals 31. Subtract the 3, which is going to give you a 28. And then divide it by the negative 28 on both sides. So y equals negative 1. Well, if you have negative 1, what do you need to find? You will need to find x. So pick an equation that you would like to plug x in. I'm just going to pick the second one because it looks harder. So with the second one, you have 3x minus 10y equals 31. I'm going to take that negative 1, plug it right there. So 3x minus 10 times negative 1 equals 31. 3x plus 10 equals 31. Minus the 10 on both sides, and you should have a 21. 21 divided by 3. Ta-da! X equals 7. So my answer is 7, comma, negative 1. Good job. If you look at your guided notes, you have one more example. I'm going to have you guys take a look at this one for example 6. Pause the video and try it on your own. Go ahead and take a look at the steps that I have here. All right, you guys, you should be done with the 6 different examples. Next, what I would like you guys to do is to go ahead and turn over to this page right here. Go ahead and pause the video and practice with the 10 questions. If you're ready to check your answers, I have the answers right here as well for those 10 questions. All right, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful week and I'll see you guys next time. As always, stay safe and healthy. Take care.